because I have less stuff.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. My name is Jonathan. We are in the month of December. It's the holidays. We've passed Thanksgiving. It's now full on Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. We're in that season. Again, my name is Jonathan. How y'all doing today? How you doing, Jerome?
Doing good. Just chilling. Happy to be here. And yeah, man. It's been a long week. I'm kind of tired.
Ecstatic.
How are you doing, Alex? How was your Thanksgiving and post-Thanksgiving?
Depressing.
We are off to an amazing start in this podcast,
I'm not
y'all.
gonna lie to the people. I hung out
here working 9 to 5.
I hung out with my sister's dogs for like a day and then hung out with Cheddar at night and didn't really do anything the day. Friday, the day after, my sister did have a little like Thanksgiving, so we did get to like eat together because that's when we were all off work and hanging out. So that was kind of nice. I did put up my Christmas tree. Do you guys want to see it?
Yeah, let's see it. All right, Alex.
I'm about to say.
Oh,
I'm like,
I thought you were gonna turn the camera.
Say, what you gonna do? Carry the whole computer with you? Well, let me pick up the monitor real quick.
It's right there. For anybody listening, it is about not even a foot tall Christmas tree.
It's one. If people need to remember, I live in a box. All right, it's a very tiny apartment.
You can make some room. Move a chair.
One chair, but it's a Super Mario tree. Look, it's a little question box.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And there's a little star. That's my tree. He hangs out on my desk.
I think I'm gonna go to Home Goods tomorrow and get a little tree as well.
It's dangerous when I go shopping there.
It is. It's very dangerous.
I'll put it up on Cheddar's.
Cheddar might knock it off. He's like, "What is this?"
Cheddar's first Christmas with you.
I know. I'm so excited. I should just wrap his tree in like lights and put ornaments on it.
Are you gonna show him Polar Express as well?
Do you care about Polar Express? No, he doesn't. Look, Snowball spent 21 years without seeing Polar Express. Never in her life she saw it. I'm not going to subject Cheddar to that. That creepy animation.
You liked the movie.
I had a lot of problems.
Oh yeah, I forgot last year was your first time watching it.
Yeah, and I spent most of it just complaining about the hot chocolate.
Yep. This year, Christmas movie. You know, we'll leave it up to you, audience. I mean, I don't know if you'll comment and tell us, but we always ask for comments at the time of this recording, mind you, because I don't know, we might be popular next year, but this year at the time of this recording, every time we just like comment below, we then check, waiting weeks after weeks, just sitting there looking at the screen like, "Ooh, when the first one comes in. Oh, it's gonna be good."
What are we checking? Because I look at maybe like Instagram and
I check YouTube all the time. We don't ever get comments.
Just tell people comment wherever.
I get some comments.
We've gotten comments on YouTube before.
We've gotten them, but they're almost always just "good job."
We get lots of comments on TikTok, but you guys aren't aware of that because you guys aren't on TikTok. Or are on our TikTok.
That's true.
But
we are not here to talk about the TikToks, at least not yet. That's at the end of the show. Today, we are here to talk.
Wait, I didn't say how my week was. My week was good.
You got a new job, right?
I did. I'm now working for Warner. Well, I'm still working for my other company, but now working also for Warner Brothers, which is fun. It's been a blast of a week, a tiring week, but it was
what movie are you gonna
fun.
be in? Are you in the new Matrix movie?
Yes, in fact, I got a meeting with Keanu in a couple of days, so I'm really looking forward to that. And he's gonna show me all the ropes, and we're just gonna go through.
Need you to introduce me so I can put that book to use.
But yeah, it's been fun.
Cool.
Seeing where a lot of things There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of facts about the Warner Brothers lot, and so I'm taking in a lot of information. And yeah,
Cool. So you've heard it here first, folks. When you watch Matrix Resurrections coming later this December, be on the lookout for Jonathan. He'll be in the background hanging out with Yahya Abdul Mateen II. He'll be doing the stunts.
So what are we
Right.
reviewing? What's going on?
You're
That
right.
was like a
Jonathan,
dip.
you're just not gonna be part of my bit. Is that what it is? You're just not gonna enjoy being in this joke. Let's see how it is.
All right, I'll pay you your 20% or whatever you asked for.
Jonathan's
Okay.
just sitting there like, nah, I'm gonna let you drown by yourself. You jumped in this pool. You can get yourself out of it.
My mom did that earlier today. She made like kind of a bad joke. We were on the phone together and I just sat there in silence, like dead silence. And then she was like, wow, you can be quiet really long. And I was like, yeah, I want you to sit there and think about what you did. Think about the joke you made.
Well, today, as I was saying, today we are not here to talk about Matrix Resurrections. That's their later podcast, I'm sure. Maybe, who knows? We'll see.
I would be
But
into that.
in the meantime, we're here to talk about Arcane. This is the newest video game show on Netflix. Now, for those who don't know, the video game the show is based off of is League of Legends. It's a popular MOBA, or a game that is referred to as a MOBA. That's the type of game it is, where it's like mostly just like a bunch of hero characters everyone can pick. You play in teams and you're trying to get little dudes from one point to the next while fighting other people who are also playing a team and doing the same thing. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into MOBAs. I don't play them, so I don't know all the mechanics. And secondly, they look boring to me. That's just me personally. But League of Legends is one of the biggest games of all time. It's a huge community spanning across the globe and probably into the intergalactic stars too. We just haven't seen that yet. So Riot Games, the company that makes League of Legends, decided to partner with Fortiche Studios, I think is how you pronounce their name. They're a French animation studio, to make a TV show that is based off of a few of their characters. And this acts as like a prequel to the games, because League of Legends, while all the characters have backstories, none of them are in the game. It's just background information that if you want to listen to it, or you know, to help you get, enjoy your character, find out more about them, you're like your favorite person. But and I only say that because there's some people who are like, they watch this show and then they're like, oh man, now I want to play the game. I'm telling you now, this show is nothing like the game, like at all. It is not the same. So just know that. But regardless, the show is now out. It's 9 episodes. How they released it was interesting. They released it 3 episodes at a time, because each 3 episodes are supposed to be an act. It's like a 3-act structure. So the first 3 episodes, act 1, second 3 episodes is act 2, last 3 are act 3. So that is how that goes. But it's now all out. So if you want to enjoy the whole thing, you can watch it on Netflix. We will spoil the show later on.
For me included.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
sure,
I did not
Jonathan.
watch it.
Yeah. Jonathan unfortunately only watched 20 minutes of an episode. Do not hurt this man if you're a huge Arcane fan. All right. He would have watched it if he had the time. So
What do you have?
So don't hurt him. He's not like Alex. He actually likes the beginning of things.
How dare you say something so accurate at my expense?
Jonathan is going to be just here to chime in, as me and Alex did finish the show. I finished it a week ago and I brought this to the table. So you're welcome, game fans, if we have any.
Alex, that's right. He probably watches our show. Something.
Yeah, that's
Alex.
True.
Al.
No, Al.
Oh, I thought you said Alex. I'm like, wait, you?
I mean, I technically do watch our videos, more in a professional manner, though. Editing clips. But anyway,
But with that being said, for those who don't know how our review works, and the only reason I'm explaining it now, even though we haven't explained it for a while, is just because Arcane is a big thing right now. A lot of people in the gaming community who enjoy League of Legends might not want to be spoiled, but want to watch the review. So if that is you, here's how this is going to go. We're going to first, me and Alex are going to give our general thoughts on all 9 episodes. Jonathan on his first 20 minutes. And, and we're just going to give general thoughts, no spoilers, just how we feel about the show. Did we like it? Did we not like it? What are some of the things we do like it without getting too spoilery? And then after that, we're going to go full spoilers, no nonstop. So, and we'll tell you when that point is. So when we hit that point, we'll give you a warning. You can tune off then, or, go watch the show on Netflix real quick. Come on back. It's up to you. So I will start with you, Alex. What did you think about Arcane?
I hated it. No,
all this time that we've been like talking about the show.
Well, I'm not gonna be like a jerk and be like, oh, screw all your thoughts. I don't want to hear it. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I thought first part with me, just as Jerome pointed out, I don't like beginnings. And there was a lot of information taken at the beginning, and it was slow, a bit slow for me. Like the end part got better, I will say that. But I just wasn't a fan of it. And I guess because I'm not often when I play video games, it's often more like Super Mario, Spyro, like the little weird looking things compared to like League of Legends or Skyrim or stuff like that, with actual quests and stuff.
This one's got a little dude in it,
He does. There's a little dude in it. But also, I hated the animation style.
Really?
I hated it mainly because my brain wanted to skip it. It had that instinct because it looks like that little video game style when you're playing the game and
you have the option to skip.
Yeah, they have, come talk to this person. They have that whole storyline, and I just wanted to skip it. My brain was like, skip it. So not a show for me, but like the characters, I will say were interesting.
I have a question for you specifically. So at the beginning, it brings up the Netflix little card in the corner. It says that some viewers who may be photosensitive to strobe lighting and stuff, like a warning thing for photosensitive viewers. Did you have an issue with that? Because I'm like, oh, Alex has probably already watched this by now.
I didn't actually notice that at first, not until the second episode, because they do display that, which I do appreciate that they do. It bothered me in the first episode only because they had a few flashes. Like I think 20 minutes in, 15 minutes in, there was one big flash and kind of startled me, but it wasn't too bad as long as I kind of keep lights at the same level. The flashing doesn't cause so much issue to me. But if I'm like in a dark theater or a dark room and suddenly there's flashing on the screen, it's definitely going to trigger like a really aggressive migraine. But I watched it at work and it's very bright there. So it did give me a start, the first explosion that was on screen. But after that, I was perfectly fine. What do you think of it, Jerome?
I really enjoy the show. I think it is super, super, super good. For a multitude of reasons. For me personally, as a huge animation fan, this is some of the best animation I've seen in a long time in regards to 3D animation. That's tough because a lot of 3D animation, especially when it comes to detail, can get really wonky and weird or look too plastic. But this one reminded me a lot of Spider-Verse. And in fact, they did it kind of the same way, where it's a lot of 3D animation, and then they covered the details over with, instead in Spider-Verse, they did more like comic booky kind of drawing. In this, they do more paint. And it just looks beautiful. It blends really well, especially when they have the 2D elements like smoke in the background and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed the animation in this show. and just how well it blends together. I think the coolest effect was easily there's one point a character's taking a shower and you can see the water streaks go down their arm, and it's just these 2D streaks of water, like that looks like as close to water as you can get with drawing, of course, but it looks like actual water is going down their arm, and it just looks so crisp and so clean. I also love the character work in here. I think all the voice actors do a great job playing their characters, especially the two main leads, the two sisters, Vi and Jinx. They're incredible, and they're played by Haley Steinfeld and Ella Purnell. So they're
Haley
doing
Steinfeld, she was in Spider-Verse.
she was in Spider-Verse. That's true. She's doing well right now. She was in Spider-Verse. She's
in the new Hawkeye.
She's in the new
too.
Hawkeye show
yeah,
right
that's right.
now. She's now in this, and all of them have been hitting. Like she's doing.
And she has a
very
music career as well.
Her album came out this year.
Really?
Like
That's
she
right.
did good. She's doing real good.
She's going for all of it.
Yeah,
Right.
so she's dominating. I really enjoyed the show, and I think the best thing I love about the show is like I said, I don't play League of Legends, so I know who none of these characters are. Jinx is the only one I know, and even then, that's only because she's like, after she was announced, she's become like the League of Legends new mascot. Like they keep putting her on everything because they want her to really sell her character ever since they made her. But other than her, I haven't seen any of these other characters. I know nothing about this world. I know nothing about these people, and I was never lost. I never felt like I had to go play the game to know what something was. At the same time, I watched this with Al, at least the first 3 episodes. And so there were things that he caught, because he does play the game, that I was like, oh, that's neat. But it was never anything that took me out of the show or made me feel like I was missing something by not playing the game. And that's really awesome. It reminds me of Castlevania is the same way, where you don't have to have played Castlevania to enjoy the show Castlevania, which is how you should do any video game adaptation. And video game adaptation movies should take notes. All right. This is how you do it. So there you go. Those are my general thoughts. Jonathan, do you have any general thoughts from the first 20 minutes? Or rather, let me ask you this. Based off what you have seen, do you think this is a show you'll continue to watch, like to find out what the ending of that episode is, and maybe from there watch the show?
So I do have a couple thoughts on the first 20 minutes. But I'll first start out with my, background with League of Legends, which is non-existent, except for the fact that in my freshman year of college, I was in the dorm, and my room was across the hall from this library study area room. Halfway through the year, nobody was really using it. Like, no, people went in there when they wanted to like take a phone call or something, and that's what it was used for. So some of the people in our floor decided to turn that into like a media center. We put a TV, even though we already had one on the floor, we put a TV in there. People would go in there and play League of Legends. And that would happen until all hours of the night, which is why I invested in earplugs and face masks, blindfolds, eye masks, sleep masks, because my roommate would go in and out when those guys were playing League of Legends, and I had an 8 a.m. class. So that's my experience with League of Legends.
So you've seen how popular it is.
Yes.
It's very competitive. People win money to play League of Legends.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I'm aware how popular it
Big
is,
deal.
mainly because of like the nerdy friends we have who talk to me about video games, and I'm just smiling and being like, yes, I'm happy you're passionate. No idea what you're talking about though.
But on the first 20 minutes, when it first started and it was super dramatic, and then it was so dark. I thought that was going to be the tone for the entire show. Thankfully, when they switched it up, it was this, gang of kids. It was trying to steal these like crystals or jewels or whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I can get it on board with this tone more so than the other tone. The animation I did like. I thought it was very well done, especially when they're outside and you can see the sky. I thought it was very realistic. And I thought, like Jerome said, even though it is 2D, they used elements in the art style to make it look like it was 3D. So it kind of also did remind me of that Spider-Verse artwork style. And the sound was very good as well. That's something that I usually don't really care about, but for some reason, voices and just the noises and overall sound sounded very crisp and clear. I can't really comment on anything plot wise because I didn't watch any of the plot. I didn't get into any of the plot. But hey, there are Oscar nominated short films that are 20 minutes long. So in that amount of time, you can get a good amount of information. And I think I did. Unfortunately, I didn't get through the whole thing. And ask me in about 6 months if I want to get back to it. And the answer will probably still be no. But right now, I think there's just so much that I have to there's so much that I have to get through at this moment in time that I probably won't get back to it immediately. But I am not discounting it completely right now.
That's fair.
All right. Yeah. So we're about to get into the spoiler section. So if you have not seen Arcane and you want to, I highly advise that you stop right here, pause this, go to your Netflix account, watch all 9 episodes, then come back because you don't want to miss none of this podcast goodness. But before you leave, just if you want to see more of what we do here, enjoy any of our content, or see some extra stuff, you can always follow us at The First Ones to Die on all our social media. That includes Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all types of stuff, as well as on YouTube at The First Ones to Die. You can see all types of extra content from gaming stuff to merch. Or you can't see the merch, but
it's coming. It's coming
eventually. But I'm promised you an announcement will go up there probably at some time. Probably when we once we make the video for it. But until then, you can see vlog stuff, mini reviews, all of our podcast video versions. Which, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching one now, so you can see the rest of them on YouTube as well. So there you go. Getting into spoilers.
Follow us at The First Ones to Die and rate us 5 stars wherever you're listening.
Oh, yes, that too. Also, yes. Yeah, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music now, and and Podbean. But I don't know anybody in my personal circle that actually uses Podbean, so that's why I said them last. Anyway, getting into spoilers, we'll
this
get
will
back
be the new part for me.
We'll get back to the animation thing. Also, I'm sorry, Jonathan, you're gonna be spoiled for the show. So I mean, you can watch the show if you want, but you're gonna some things you're just already gonna know. The thing about here's where we'll start. We will start with the characters because we'll get back to the animation in a bit. Because that's something all three of us have experienced. Jonathan, you've experienced the characters when they were younger. Alex, you see where the characters go after they're younger.
Yes.
What did you guys think about the characters well, Jonathan, how far did you get? Did you only meet Vi and Powder and the little street gang of kids?
There would have been Milo and Clover.
There was 4 of them.
Well, I know. I'm saying he hasn't probably gotten to the episode where you meet Jace and the doctor and all those people. So you didn't meet those characters?
Were they in the first episode?
They're not.
Okay, then I did not.
Okay, so we're gonna focus on just the little kid gang of the underground.
I mean,
First,
they're the main
they're
characters.
they're
right?
more or less the main characters. So
And they get older.
they're due after the first 3 episodes. There's a time skip where you see them as older people.
Mm.
Also, that dark tone you were talking about, it comes back with a vengeance.
It's a video game, of course it does.
Well, because
Right.
I'm like, what's funny is you look at the League of Legends game, and the League of Legends game is super bright and colorful. And yes, there are people with weapons, but there's no blood. There's no, I think it's rated T for teen. Like, it is not dark. And this show is the complete opposite. People drop F-bombs, people's arms get blown off, people get ripped apart. Like, it's not for kids. I'm telling you that right now. This show is not for children. Do not show your kids this.
Is it more or less gruesome than Invincible?
It's less gruesome than Invincible. Invincible takes it to a whole other level of messed up. But this show, it's more just the theme, like it's more just the themes and the tone. Like, yes, some dark stuff happens, but this is more something you could probably show a teenager. You just can't show like your little kids who probably also play League of Legends.
Probably also watch this show secretly.
I mean,
from their parents.
True.
I'm trying to think of like something. Oh, like when people were taking like kids to Deadpool because they're like, it's a Marvel movie. It's Deadpool though. It's
Right.
rated R for a particular is for many reasons actually.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, what do you guys think of Vi and Powder / Jinx?
Which one was it?
I didn't like Powder, or really.
Oh, Jonathan, Vi is the one with pink hair. Powder's the one with blue hair.
Okay, let me pull up pictures for visual. I didn't have enough time for the names to stick to the images.
I'm trying to help you, brother.
So,
I'm trying to
personally, I didn't like Powder, who is younger. Her also name becomes Jinx later, who had the pink hair? No, purple hair.
That's Vi.
Or blue.
Oh, wait.
No. Vi had the pink hair.
See, you don't even know.
Vi had the pink hair.
You're not saying the right colors. You keep changing colors on me.
No, Vi had the pink hair, no?
Vi had pink hair.
Yeah.
Caitlyn had purple hair.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Powder has blue hair.
Fine. This is already a mess. Powder, well, it wasn't really Powder's fault. I was annoyed with V because the kid kept screwing up, but instead of correcting the kid, she's just like, let it go, whatever, it's fine, we'll get it next time. This kid threw like a shit ton of stuff into the river. Like, they got the crap beaten out of them, all of them, for protecting this stuff. And I
will say though, they did handle themselves pretty well. I thought I was prepared for them to get beat down, and they threw hands. No, I was surprised.
And that's like great, and they know how to take care of themselves. But still, she threw everything they had worked for. They almost gotten blown up. They were being chased by the guards. They got into their little street gang fight, and she just tossed it all into the water. Highly valuable stuff. Gone.
Well, she's a kid. I mean, granted, I will give you that there was times where I was like, all right, Powder, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, Vi, but she can't be part of the gang. Like,
right. Like
she's a liability at this point.
Yeah, no, she became a liability, and I get wanting to protect your sister. I totally vibe with that. But then you're also putting her in these dangerous situations where she is clearly not capable. She has not been, I don't know, trained enough or practiced enough. So she has
some training. The technology is just not there, because when she's at that shooting range, she can shoot with the best of them. She just
doesn't have
a gun.
I'm talking about like straight first episode when they're like trying to jump from rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah, you see that part? I did.
Yeah, right. The little kid almost fell off the
Captain
roof.
America. I got that reference. I'm with you.
Technically, that was one of the Marvel characters we put you with. Marvel characters that with your personality.
So so you're saying Powder, she didn't follow the stereotypical, when there's like a group of adults or when it's a group of adults and there's a kid, usually the kid is like the most competent out of them. But in this case, the kid is an actual kid and they're annoying and they're not competent.
Necessarily about the competence, because like I get she was learning and like they were showing her, but like more of like the footwork and like her actual levels of skills. She was not balanced enough to jump from place to place. She still needed assistance. She was almost falling. And like the running almost got caught a few times because she didn't know how to like swerve and hit walls like them. So like she was clearly not in a place to be out venturing yet.
But I think that's the point, is that Powder is, it's no different than when I was younger, me and my sister. Everywhere I went, my sister wanted to be, regardless of if I wanted her there or not. Because she's like, and it because she was like, I look up to you. I want to do what you do. And in Powder's case, especially, their parents die in the first scene of this show.
That is
so
true.
she has no
It
family.
wasn't even like a
Oh,
real
that's their
scene.
parents?
That was part of credits. That was like part of the credits.
Mhm.
Or the
It's
the parents die and they were part of the rebel uprising,
mhm.
and then they died. They were murdered, really. So they were
Yeah,
left
by the
orphaned.
police. So it's, there you go.
Surprise.
But so it's like I understood where Powder was coming from, where for her she's like, I want to be a part of the gang because I don't want to be by myself. Like you're the only person I have in this world now. So I want to be where you're at. I want to do what you do. But because she's younger and isn't as skilled as Vi is as far as picking up like boxing and
Yeah, but
being a
instead
thief
of
and being a
like
leader, like she's just not
instead
good
of
at
like
it.
Vi like telling her like, hey, you need to practice a little more, or like she just like brushes everything off, is like, oh, it's fine. Because she doesn't want to make her feel bad. She can get everybody killed and you're gonna brush it off. She lost your loot and you brush it off. Like, no, like
Well,
I
at that point, all she did was lose the loot. She didn't get anybody killed until later.
She could have with that blast. No, that blast. She dropped.
Okay, but
She's the one
to
who
be
got
fair,
the low
she didn't know what she was looking
She's-
at. She didn't know those were gonna explode. She just assumed they were
And
just
I didn't-
rocks.
I was gonna say something horrible. But they were still. She ended up being the reason that explosion happened, and they almost got killed in the first 15 minutes because of her.
Actually, to be fair, it's because of Vi, because what's his face? Vander told them not to go up there anyway.
Yeah.
She knew they weren't supposed to be up there, but she wanted to go anyway because she's like, well, I
And
just
that's what I'm
feel like I want to
saying.
fight back anyway. It's like, okay, but do you
Yeah.
understand that all of y'all could have died up there?
And that's another thing that, like, I'm saying, like, clearly you're going into some space that they're warning you don't go, and it shows more danger, and you're like, yes, let me take my untrained little sister instead of just being the bad guy for like an hour and telling her to stay home. Let's bring her on a dangerous mission where people are literally being like, let's not. Nah, let's bring.
Yeah,
bring
but how many?
Bring the kid. Bring the kid.
Yeah, but how many kids? And that's because that's what Vi is. Whether she wants to act like an adult or not, even when this show starts, she's like at least 16. How many kids could actually be a parent at that age? She doesn't know better.
Jamie Lynn Spears.
Okay, well, and also I'm sure she made mistakes too. Like the point is,
That's fair.
at 16 years old, you're not making the right decisions because you're a kid yourself. In her mind, she's like, she says she can do it. I'll let her do it. But that's because she's a
when I was a child.
In her mind, she's like, I'm a sister first. I'm not her mom. Well, even though technically she is the closest thing she has to a mother figure. You know, I thought it was complex. I thought it was unique. Like, yes, I agree with you. Powder is definitely screwing up a lot in the beginning of this show. And it leads to some bad stuff later on because Vi won't, put the foot down. But at the same time, I understand why she won't put the foot down. It's because she doesn't know how. She's like, how do I tell my little sister who has nobody else in this world, no, don't come with me and do the one thing everybody else in this entire facility can do. You stay behind and do nothing and just be here and guard the base.
I don't know. It's been pretty easy with me and my sister, but then again, we get a little mean with each other. But I don't know. And then
plus, also, it's to set up because the thing about the characters is, of the characters that are in the game, it's Vi, Caitlyn, Jinx, Victor, Jace, and Heimerdinger. Those are like characters you can play as. So I knew those characters were going to be fine. But the thing about Jinx in the just to go back to also what I said about why she's the only character I know, she's the character they've been trying to sell the most because she's technically like the game's Joker. She's the most popular villain because she's crazy and cuckoo. She like in the game, she's basically Harley Quinn. Like that's her personality, is that she's zany, kooky, and crazy and loves explosions and guns and causing trouble and mayhem. That's who her character is. I think the show kind of adds a little more depth to her craziness and psychosis, but still that's what that character is. And so like I think they wanted to try and give her more depth and explain, okay, how did she become the way she is, instead of just opening the show and she's Harley Quinn now with blue hair, like with long blue pigtails. So I like that might explain some things. I don't know. It might clear it up. But
I don't know. I had a problem with her. I had a problem with the sister and them jeopardizing basically everything. I get that whole sisterly bond. I have it. I do. I'd do anything for my sister. I really would. And I know she'd do anything for me. But at the same, I guess I can't really put it into words about how we can still separate each other because like we're so bonded through everything we've been through. But at the same time, if one's kind of gonna fuck up, I'll let her fall, which I have. I've let her, she lets me fall all the time. I fall all the time and she never catches me. She'll just let me hit the ground. It's that type of deal.
But I will say though, I think between you and your sister, you falling is at worst, you might scrape your knee or something. In this case, the second Vi does let Powder fall, she becomes the worst serial killer in this town. The one time.
I mean,
so you know what I mean? Like it's different. Powder like goes from being a sweet little girl to being like a maniacal killer who has no problem blowing up buildings filled with people.
I mean, I like fire too, but it doesn't. We all express ourselves differently.
Oh, can we?
I think we need to move on.
Because when you said she turns into a maniacal killer who blows people up. Can we talk about the plot? Like, can we go through a little bit of the plot? Because I am confused.
Yeah, you're lost. Okay.
That's true. So, you did see her as just somebody trying to steal a crystal, and then now she's a mass murderer.
Right.
So the way that the story is that it starts with you seeing them as kids, right? And that's to establish the class divide in the city. There's Piltover, which is like the upper city, which is high class society. They have a lot of the technology. They have the over policing police force. They have everything up there.
So it's and like then Detroit.
And below them.
You agreed really quickly, by the way.
I missed that.
I didn't quite hear what you said until after you said that. Yeah, I was like, oh, wait a minute. But below them is what's referred to as the underground, but is also referred to as the city of Zon. And that's where the lower class people live. And they are often over policed or abused by the, I forget what they're called, the enforcers that are the police force of Piltover. Vander is
Vander makes more sense.
Yeah, Vander is the guy who runs the bar. I don't know if you met him yet. Or no. He's in the opening part of the first episode, the guy who's like beating up somebody on the bridge while Powder and Vi are like walking through the destruction of this town. Mm-hmm. He's at the time when they're kids over the underground. He's like their leader, so to speak. And he was trying to hold the rebellion, but it didn't work because the enforcers have way more guns. They have way better technology. Like they easily squashed a rebellion from the underground, easy, and killed a lot of people. So, including Vi and Powder's parents. So, he is trying to just train these kids to be like, hey, just take care of the underground, take care of each other, yada yada. Some stuff happens. Powder finds those stones. And in the meantime, also, there's two scientists, one named Jace, the other Victor, and they are trying to use those stones, or rather, Jace was trying to use those stones to essentially add technology to magic to make like what we would consider kind of like sci-fi technology, but in this case, it's not. The power source isn't gears or like photons or something like that. It's like magical stones. But in his case, he just wants to make essentially like a shipping gate that makes it easier for them to transport goods from one place to the other using technology.
But instead, he makes explosives.
Well, because the stones are unstable, they're not refined. So like the slightest like jolt of them or manipulation of them, they can explode.
That's how I want to be described from now on, an unstable stone.
On Alex's
Instagram
tombstone.
bio.
That is, I'm like,
Alex's tombstone. Sister, friend, unstable stone.
I'm actually gonna while you're explaining more of the plot, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and change that on my Instagram.
So after Powder gets these stones, right? Well, they find out that because they stole these stones, and then the council, made up of a series of people who are in Piltover, find out that he's been working on magic stones. It's like, we got to get these stones back. So they send enforcers into the underground to beat up people and stuff, and they're on a witch hunt to find these stones and find out who stole them, which are these kids. But Vander doesn't want, he's like, they're kids. I'm not going to turn in these kids. Meanwhile, there's also a mob boss, like criminal named, or kind of mafia type boss criminal named Silco, who also grew up in the underground, and he respects the underground, but he kind of wants to bring the underground up through crime and this kind of drug-like substance that gives you power called Shimmer. And he's kind of the antithesis to Vander.
Silco and Shimmer do not sound very intimidating.
Well, I'll tell you he is. So anyway, Silco eventually, yep, she's unstable stone now. I can't quite see it because the screen's white, but
screen's too bright.
Screen's too bright.
I was like trying to show it for the continue.
I think if you hold it like really, really close.
It's even brighter.
You can see my little picture. Anyway.
Anyway, so later on, Powder and or rather Vi decides she's going to turn herself in, but then Vander's like, no, I'll turn myself in on your behalf. You live a life. And then they doesn't matter because he gets captured by Silco anyway, and the enforcers die that are after him. So then they all so then Vi finds out about this, and she's like, I'm gonna go save Vander. Powder, you can't come. You're not ready. You're just not. All right. You stay here and guard the base. And Powder loses it. Like she has a freak out. Like she almost like a panic attack.
Because she never told her to stay still once before.
She has
and now when a bunch of people are in danger, she's like, all right, don't move.
You want to know how good this is? All right, I'm telling you, there's a psychotherapist channel I watch. She analyzed Powder in her show on YouTube. It was a really good breakdown explaining a lot of her mood swings. But anyway, she has like a panic attack, and then she realizes that the stones are what caused the explosion during their initial heist. And so she's like, I can help. So she gathers the stones and she has these little the little contraptions she used before she threw the stuff in the river.
Yeah.
She
called it like mice, mouse.
Like Jonathan, do you remember?
Didn't you call it
no, I didn't get to them throwing anything in the river.
Yeah, she has these little Powder's thing is that she likes to make contraptions. She likes to tinker. So she makes these little contraptions that are supposed to explode. But because she's not really good yet, she doesn't know how to do it just yet where they're really effective. But with these stones, she's like, oh, I can do it. So they go so all the kids except Powder go to this place to help save Vander, and they almost do it. Like they're about to escape. Everything's gonna be cool. Even Vi's even getting in some punches. She's knocked out like almost the entire entirety of Silco's gang. Like she's out here doing the damn thing. And then Powder comes, and Powder's like, I can help. And so she brings in this like little monkey contraption bomb thing and puts it in the building. And because it's the one stone destroyed that one apartment building, right? She used 4 of them, and it blows up this entire factory and a few streets around it, killing every single person except Vi and Silco. So she kills all her friends and her father figure Vander. And Vi is reasonably pissed.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so Powder's poor heart, like she's just trying, like, I just wanted to help. And Vi smacks the taste out of her mouth. It's not funny, but it's funny. She smacks the taste out of her mouth, and then she calls her a jinx. She's like, everywhere you go, you just cause bad luck. Like you're a complete jinx. So
that's her name from then on.
Well, what happens is Vi walks away because she just needs to calm down a second. Like she realizes she just hit her only sister. She's got nobody else, like her or Powder. So she's like, I just need to be away from my sister for a sec. So she goes somewhere else just to cry for a little bit. While Powder stays where she is, like also crying and screaming. And then Silco shows up, who's still alive, and runs into Powder. And meanwhile, Vi does see it and she tries to get to her, but then another bad guy who's like a dirty cop essentially takes her, because he knows that if Silco sees her, he'll kill her instantly, because she just ruined his whole thing with Vander and everything. And meanwhile, Powder goes with Silco because she's like, I don't have a family. I don't have anyone left. My sister abandoned me. I've killed my friends. So it's just you. And that's the end of the 3rd episode. So then the time skip happens. And after the time skip, Powder has changed her name to Jinx, and she's been working with Silco all this time because he's now become like her new father, teaching her all the bad things to do. But her loneliness and guilt from killing her friends and everything else has kind of made her crazy. She's screwed up in the head. She's talking to people who aren't there. She's like she's kind of like, a lot of people have been comparing her to Joker and Harley Quinn mixed together, but taken seriously. And meanwhile, Vi's been like in a prison. It's true. Joker is so cartoony at this point. The man, literally,
Jared Leto.
There's not even Jared Leto. There's a whole period in the comics where the Joker, because he's so crazy, cuts his face off and then walks around like he's not gonna get infected from cutting his face off. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm just like looking over to Jonathan and just like
it's ridiculous. All right, so I'm just saying, Joker and Harley Quinn.
I can't say anything bad about Joker now because I work with Warner Brothers, so I have to represent.
Joker's great.
I'm kidding.
But you know, regardless,
no, you're right. She does get cuckoo.
Yeah, she goes crazy, and in the meantime, Vi has been trapped in jail. That's where the dirty cop hid her essentially and put her in a hole. And then a character Caitlin comes and breaks her out, and then that leads us to the rest of the plot of the show, and which is mostly Vi trying to find Powder and hopefully like bring her back from her psychosis. And but at the same time, the whole show after the first act, Jinx consistently kills people all the time.
I mean, you murder all your friends, like at a certain point, I think that's like the kind of the murdering guilt is gone. Well, they weren't my friends. I've already murdered my friends. Well, they're just people.
What's funny is that in the game, all the characters have like little voice dialogues they have with each other. Sometimes if they run into each other. And this is what I mean by they have backstories, but they're not a part of the plot. But they'll say things to each other like, Jinx, I haven't seen you since you did this to my face. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that that makes people go, the people who play the game like, ooh, I wonder what that means. Is this an enemy of Jinx or whatever? That sort of thing. And
I want to go up to say that to somebody, like the little sky hair from getting hit by a brick. I want to find the guy just so I can be like, I haven't seen you since you did this to my face. Like, I would love to go up to somebody and just have that like video game dialogue style of just saying that, not even a greeting, not even a hello. I haven't seen you since the new year has begun. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do.
I've got to show you videos that people have done where it's like Skyrim in real life, and it's just people walking up talking like that, like as in video game dialogue, where they're just like, "Hello, traveler. How have you been?
Do you know where the sewer is?"
But
right, exactly.
I've seen videos like that. Hello, traveler. Where are you headed today? Which is like different, but like I want to go up to somebody I know and just not even greet them, not even be like hello or anything. Just be like, I haven't seen you since we hung out at that bar. Do you remember that night? No, because that was like 3 years ago. Who remembers that night? That's what I meant. I want to do. I'm going to start greeting all our friends in that manner of just walking up to them. I haven't seen you since the last snowfall.
And why is this important person that you're supposed to be talking to and that's supposed to be giving you all your information? Why is he or she just like standing there right there, not walking? Why do you have to walk up to them? Why are they just standing there waiting for you to walk up to them? Why can't they like meet you halfway?
Because you're the hero of the world. You should be invested in what's going on in this world, all right? You're the hero of this
Jinx
village.
Is not the hero.
That's true. Jinx is not the hero.
She's the villain. She's
yeah.
That makes sense why she has to go up to people in the game at least.
But yeah, no, I just mentioned that because I think they're trying to set up, because this has already been approved for a season 2. The show was number 1 on Netflix for weeks, like of people just loving this show. So it's already been approved. They already even recorded a little bit of dialogue. Like they put out a little teaser with the Arcane A saying season 2 is announced. And you hear a little bit of dialogue that makes it sound like Vi is going to be hunting Jinx from this point forward because of stuff we know from the game of where Vi is at that point in time. But there's a lot of things in the game to indicate that Jinx has killed or hurt a lot of people in the game or people close to the people in the game. So I think they're trying to set that up, that she kills a lot of people because we need her to be that big bad who is like unstable. She's done a lot of bad things that are irredeemable and we can't let them stand. I mean,
it's an accidental murder. I understand she did murder a bunch of people and it was a big thing, but it was also accidental. So
well, that was
be forgiven.
But when she went to the carnival, later on.
Oh yeah, no, in the carnival.
She has no qualms being when she sets that fire and those cops walk in and then they see that there's hanging up is like 16 different grenades.
But in all fairness, a carnival does have clowns. So is it that terrible?
It's pretty crazy.
There's always
getting off of Jinx and Vi for a while. Alex, what'd you think about the subplot on the other side dealing with Jace and Victor, the like scientist characters?
I don't know how I feel too much about Jace. He kind of annoyed me too, but like I understand his eagerness more so to prove himself with what he was doing. I didn't entirely understand what he was trying to do with the unstable stones until you just told me right now. Yeah, I'm an unstable stone.
Was that the legit name, or did you just describe it as that?
No, I just described it as
I don't
that.
know what the legit name was.
No, because the stones, when you first meet them in the show, they're all like jagged, like and not smooth. That's when they're in their unstable form. Later on in the show, he's like refined them and they look almost like orbs. So that's what I meant.
They kind of look like unstable and like look at like this, and then eventually they get polished and are like, but they're more round.
You had that ready.
I have like bunch of rocks near me. I have stones near me. Of course I do. I got even cube ones.
Ooh.
Yeah, you never know when you got to throw it at somebody. Gotta be prepared. Yeah, and I get that the polished ones that was supposed to be like his final work, but when you see the original ones, they kind of reminded me actually of the D&D dice.
I can see that. Yeah, D20s.
Yeah, D20s. And
oh, the 20-sided one.
Yeah, the 20-sided ones where they kind of look, I understand they when you roll they do fall flat, but it's kind of that like there was multiple sides and they were glowing and they were bright blue, and they did lead to those destructions. What I didn't understand was he contracted to make those? Was that just something personal he was trying to create? I didn't entirely understand what the point of his creations of those were, or I just did not pay attention to it.
Well, it's the League of Legends world is kind of a mix of a lot of different things, because this is only one land. There's over 100 characters in League of Legends for you to play as, and a lot of them come from tons of different places. Some lands are like more feudal Japan. Other lands are like, like almost like godlike. This one is more industrial, but at the same time kind of steampunk aesthetic mixed with what's it called? Damn it. Feudal rules. So in Jace's case, he would be like kind of like, if it was a kingdom, he would be kind of like the kingdom's like main engineer guy.
Oh, okay.
Like, so it's not so much he's contracted as much as just like Jace is one of the smartest people we have, so we have him building things. And him and Victor, like that's more or less their role. Technically also the little furry guy, Heimerdinger, which that is his name in the game too.
I know.
We laughed when Al told us that, and we were just like, are you serious? That's his name is Heimerdinger. That is his name. He's a playable character as well. And he is also he's also an engineer as well. He's an engineer too.
He creates robots. He does more robotic stuff and like full engineering, because I know he had a robotic champion. I don't know if it was robot fighting, but I remember them saying that he had a robotic champion, create a robot, Blitzcrank.
Gotcha.
So why is he such a German character compared to all the rest? Like, because I realize that now he even had a robotic thing called Blitzcrank. So that's why suddenly did they throw a German character in there?
I mean, I don't know. It's
That's
just
weird.
They wanted a German person, all right? Like that's been his voice since they've been doing, because the legal Riot Games, they always do these like music videos and announcement videos and like all types of animation like stuff for all their new characters all the time. That's why people were also excited about this show, is because it felt like an extended one of those. Speaking of which, that is my one complaint about this show, is the music videos. There are like 4 or 5 of them in this show.
Oh, within the show?
Yeah, in the show.
How does it work?
Literally, a whole segment will just start and you'll hear music playing, most of the time an Imagine Dragons song.
Oh, I was about to say, because I thought that was just the theme song of the show.
It is, but they also play it in the show where Vi is just walking down the street with her hoodie looking all tough and cool. And then literally, I cannot make this up, because this is the music video that you can find on YouTube. Imagine Dragons, the band, is animated and are in the streets as the song plays. Is watching
in the show.
Through. Yes,
this isn't like an extra like YouTube exclusive.
No, it's in the show.
I don't recall that part.
If you don't know what they look like, you would miss it.
I think that's what it is. I don't know. What they look like.
I knew what they look like.
I know what the lead
that's why
singer
I saw
guy
it,
looks
and I was like, wait, that's Imagine Dragons. I know those people.
Anytime I have seen or met a celebrity, Jonathan has been with me and has had to point them out to me every single time. So I did not notice them in the street because Jonathan did not point them out to me.
But you know what though? At least that one is like animated exactly like the show. There's one in here where they go to see another character who he's like part of this owl gang who's like been fighting against Jinx and Silco and everything. And there's a whole like spray paint type music video before that episode starts. And it has nothing to do with the plot. It is all style. And on one hand, yes, very stylistic, very cool. And it's a hip hop song. I'm all about hip hop. It's got Pusha T in it. I dig it. But those are minutes you could have used to add some extra story or something. Or I don't know. There's no time limit on this. This is Netflix. You can do what you want. So it's one of those things where because they put all the music videos on YouTube to watch on the League of Legends YouTube channel. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I can watch these music videos on YouTube and feel like I
didn't have to see them in the show
that I didn't see in the show, there was no reason for them to be in the show. They just wasted time.
Maybe they needed some filler.
I don't think they did. I think like they used their time very well in this show. They do not waste time with character stuff. They give you they give you what you need. They don't give you all the stuff that you don't, anything that you don't necessarily need, except maybe one character. And that would be there's a character who's a new character. She's not a playable character in the game. They made her up for this show. I forget her first name, but Meldard, I think is her last name. She's the black girl that's like into Jace and stuff. She's on the council. Her hair was animated so beautifully, like the way it flows. Yeah. All the hair in this flows really well.
I will say that
I didn't pigtails like flop around when she moves. Like,
I'm not a fan of the animation because it really did remind me of the video game sequences too much. But I did agree that the hair and the eyes were done so well, and how they had the reflections even in the eyes. Because I've only seen that in like Frozen and a couple other like Disney animations and Pixar animations. I think it's still like kind of a newer development in animation creation. But to see the reflection of like other people or the item they're looking at in their eyes, I think it's so cool when they do that in animation. And yeah, the hairstyles were they're very complex too, hairstyles. They weren't always that simple the way they flowed. Because I believe Vi in the beginning has that like buzz cut thing going on. So you had the short hair along with the long hair and the part going back and forth. So I will say that the animation with the hair and the eyes, and definitely the face, when it came to the face and they were able to do like creases and crow feet on the eyes, I was very impressed by the detailing work that they did do. So I will give credit to that the detailing work they did on the faces was like astonishing, that they were able to put in like, I think it was Caitlin, that character, who is a daughter of a wealthy member of an aristocrat, but she's also, I believe, a hunter.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm reading her little bio. She has these like creases here like I do, and they actually detailed that in, and I was really impressed by that. Because not often do you see this too much on characters' faces. So I like that they put that in there, and it was just the constant detailing was very well looked on. I guess is the best way I can say it.
Also, I wanted to pull up real quick because I actually have it pulled up just to show you the comparison. This is what the game looks like. Like that's the gameplay of the game. And you've seen the show. So this is think about this compared to what you watched.
Wait, is this just League of Legends?
This is League of Legends. This is what the League of Legends game is.
So it's kind of this what's that one with the people dancing?
Dancing.
That one where people go into battle.
World of Warcraft?
No.
Oh, you're talking about Fortnite.
Yeah, it's got that style where you have the little person running with the little.
It does.
It doesn't really have.
In fact, here's no, go away. Here's what Jinx looks like, or some of Jinx's gameplay, right? There's League of Legends. We're gonna skip ahead. That's Jinx in the game. That's like the promotional material when she was announced originally. And this is what it looks like.
She looks hella more crazy in the game than she actually does in the show.
Yeah. They toned it down a lot for the show. That's Vi, by the way.
I find weird that they toned it down for the show.
Well, probably because, to be quite honest, I like it that she's toned down the show because she's not just Harley Quinn with blue hair. because in the game, that's what she is. She's Harley Quinn. Flat out.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Get excited. Her abilities are get excited, or switcheroo, or zap. So League of Legends isn't that creative when it comes to naming things, huh?
Oh.
In fact, I found out actually, funny enough, I was watching reading a thing about like people who have played the game, what they think of the show. And funny, one dude, his critique was he's like, League of Legends is one of my favorite games to play with some solid gameplay and terrible character design. And I was like, God dang, that feels mean. It feels so mean.
I mean, if you're weighing out what's more important than
but yeah, I mean, like overall, you know, the thing too about this show is I do like the diversity. At least I appreciate that we get a lot of characters from different places, some that are and not just in skin tones, because we do get a few darker skin characters here, some lighter skin characters here, but also just in diversity in themes. Like we're dealing with a lot of people who are in poverty. We see what this world's technically equates to drug addicts and that sort of thing. They talk about a lot of themes in regards to police brutality, to classism, to like the dangers of innovation and evolution and technology. Like they touch on a lot of stuff here that in the plot that's just really sharp, and that never feels like they don't go the full mile or really talk about it, in my opinion, especially when it comes to the technology part. Because if you played the game, you know that the technology ain't gonna stop evolving. It's only gonna get worse from here.
I mean, the game just reminds me now of Fortnite. But then again, I understand everybody. League of Legends came before Fortnite, but I've seen more Fortnite stuff. So my brain's gonna connect the two. I understand they are different games. And I understand
y'all two
story
are
like
I
that.
listen, this is the
Like,
first episode.
No, this is why I'm trying to
defend I'm gonna be
myself.
fine, and y'all two are gonna get eaten alive by the gaming community. This is the first. Normally I'm
well, I still stand by my statement. You know what? Fine. If I'm going down, I'm going low. The show sucked. Okay, I didn't like it. I found it boring on multiple parts. V and Powder annoyed me. I kind of like what was her name? I talked about her just a minute ago too.
Caitlyn.
I did like Caitlyn. I feel like she's gonna. Hopefully, they keep her for the next round. I feel like
of course,
better,
she's in the. She's a character I miss. She's also in the game too.
Yeah.
I would like to refute. I can't get eaten alive for something I didn't consume.
You didn't watch it. That's why they're gonna eat you.
You
alive.
made no effort.
I didn't say that I would consume it either. I warned y'all at the beginning of the week. I said I can't watch this.
Yeah, but you also said this review you're not planning on watching it, so they're gonna come at you for that. All right, what you mean you're not gonna watch my favorite show of all time?
I ignored my real job to watch this. I ignored my real job to watch.
Nah, I mean, listen, I get it. I think honestly, I think this show is really good, but I've watched a lot of adult animation shows, and I have to say this one, in my opinion, just based off the ones I have seen, this one takes the cake. It's even better than Castlevania to me. Like I really love Castlevania.
I do like that show. I've watched that one. It's good. I do like it.
Yeah, Castlevania is great. It's based off the video game Castlevania.
I learned from our friend David Ducar. He was posting about it, and then I was like, I think it was season 3, and I was like, I got nothing better to do. I started watching it, and I started messaging him. But I messaged him. I'm like, all right, I'm watching it. What the hell is going on? Is this a vampire? What is this? He's like, it's Dracula. And I'm like, what the fuck?
They call him Dracula in the first episode. What do you mean what's going on?
Well, it they call him? Yes. They call him Dracula, but not till they find him, no?
No, she calls him Dracula when they meet. And he meets his wife. I'm pretty sure.
I don't recall any of that. It's been a while since I watched it. All right.
Regardless,
had to
they're
put
on the
new
4th
information
season,
in
so
there.
you got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I did. I watched, I think, the second season.
Same. I have some catching up to do as well. But I love this show. I think it's great. I am excited for season 2. I think it's really hits on a lot of great points, writing wise, character wise. It's done well. I am really excited to see, like, granted, however, here's where the gaming fans will get mad at me. Do I like this show? Yes, I do. Great show. Can't get enough of it. I enjoy it. Am I going to play League of Legends after watching the show? Hell no. I'm not doing it. Like I don't like MOBAs. I never have. The only one I've ever played or come close to playing is Battleborn, and that's because it was a first-person shooter / MOBA. Like I do not like playing straight MOBAs. They're just not for me. That's my thing. But that being said, though, do I have more respect for the League of Legends franchise as far as like wanting to know more about this world? Absolutely. I really enjoy the show.
The snowman's disappointed in you for not playing the game. You disappoint him. You too, Jonathan.
I'm excited. Jonathan was never going to play the game.
John, I relish in the disappointment. Green's my favorite color.
This is gonna be easily one of the weirdest, like you just watch when we become famous and somebody like rewatches this review. I'm curious to see what the comments are gonna be.
I feel like a lot of it is, why does Alex have stuff in her hands all the time?
Right.
I'm telling you now, that's not gonna be the top comment.
Oh, change his color.
It is cool though. I like this snowman.
I have no idea where I got him.
But we're gonna wrap this up. We're hitting at an hour 13, so we're just gonna give grades. If it isn't clear, for me, my grade is an A.
Clear.
Like, if it isn't clear, my grade's an A. The only reason it's not an A+ is those music videos, and I understand that it's part of the style, and they want to do something cool. And not every music video is useless. There's one fight between a character and Jinx, where this character can manipulate time. So they do a music video to show him like breaking down the fight before it happens. And then you see it in the regular animation style, and it's awesome. So I get it. Some of them really do work and are really cool, but some of them are unnecessary. And I challenge you to watch the show, then watch the same music video on YouTube. And if you feel no different about it, like, you get no enhancement from watching just the music, or if you get any disappointment from watching the music video on YouTube without the rest of the show, it's unnecessary. You didn't need it to be in the show because it doesn't do anything for the show except just be style for the sake of style. And so for that reason, it doesn't get an A+ because it does it so much. But that being said, everything else, top notch. This show is awesome. I'm excited for season 2.
Alex, the opposing opinion.
Yeah, the complete opposite side of that coin.
Like, it's not a bad show. I'm not saying it's a bad show at all.
It's just not for you.
It's just not, it's not for me. And then also, like, the animation is pretty cool. It's a little too similar to the video game style. Whereas, like, you brought up the Spider-Verse, where they were able to have it mimic more of a comic book style, which I always prefer. It's just not a show for me. If you're into video games, if you're into League of Legends, I say watch it. It's decent animation. The characters are pretty good, and there is interesting character development. If you're not aware of the game, you don't know, going in blind like me, the way Jinx evolved was very interesting, because she did go psycho. She really did. So I would give this like a D, just because it's not my taste, and I didn't like it. That's a personal opinion. Nothing to do with the characters, the writing style, or the thing. It just was not a show for me.
I can respect that. That was my opinion with the iCarly when we did that review, was that it just wasn't for me. So I think I gave that a C. Like, it just, I didn't say the show was bad. I wouldn't say the show was bad or that I didn't like it. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So I'm not going to give it like a super high grade if I'm not
Yeah,
It's not
it
something
was
I would enjoy.
honestly the reason I watched it is because you suggested it, and I was like, yeah, sure. You seem to be a little more excited about it than watching Resident Evil. So I was like, yeah, let's go with the one who's more
Admittedly,
excited.
you know what? I think we may have dodged a bullet though watching Resident Evil because it's not doing
Getting
well
bad
right
reviews?
now. It is getting a lot of
I
bad
am
reviews.
still watching it.
What is that on?
Netflix.
It's not good. I watched it. It's not.
I'm about to say
really?
it might as well go straight to DVD to be to be real with you.
It went straight to Netflix. That is straight to DVD nowadays. Quick Resident Evil thing. It was, if you're a committed fan like me, watch it. If you're not, you don't have to. You're not going to miss anything. I watched it because I'm always connected. Jonathan, what was your rating of the first 10 minutes?
Yes, now for the most important review, obviously. No, I obviously can't really give it a grade because that would be like watching the first 10 minutes of Wizard of Oz and being like, I wish this movie was in color.
Yeah.
So I can't really do that.
That's reasonable.
So I'm just gonna say I did like that Imagine Dragons theme song.
See, no, you only like it because you only heard it once. When you hear this song so many times, I liked it too when I first heard it. And then after I got to episode 9, I was like, oh, the misery. Shut the hell up. Skip this gang intro. I hate this song.
I have nothing to say to that. I'm not involved in that.
Although I will agree with the Double Toasted podcast. Like I'm not a huge Imagine Dragons fan, but I do not hate it as much as other people do. Like it literally.
Did people hate that song?
People hate Imagine Dragons in
They
general,
do, which I don't know why. I love them.
They've become. I agree with Double Toasted. They become the new Nickelback. Like people who don't even listen to Imagine Dragons hate them.
Yeah, I don't mind.
It never makes sense why people suddenly started hating Nickelback. I like Nickelback. People just hate it for no reason.
Look at this photograph.
Whatever. That is still a good song, and I will sing it. I don't care what anybody says. I feel it.
You know what the thing is too?
I feel Nickelback's feelings, and I won't lie.
I'm just saying because literally at the time of this recording, Hawkeye episode 3 came out, and there was a dig at Imagine Dragons in the show.
Oh, really?
So I'm saying,
and Haley Steinfeld was in it.
Haley Steinfeld was the one who said it. So
well, there you go. It's just Haley Steinfeld.
So it's like, God dang, Imagine Dragons can't catch a break. Don't nobody
even the people they working with.
Don't nobody love Imagine Dragons.
Nobody's favoring them at all.
I did like them in that, they were on the Suicide Squad, the first one, the Suicide Squad soundtrack. That song with Wiz Khalifa and all those other people.
Now, see, I don't like that song.
I love that song.
You know what, Jerome? I'm feeling this is personal for you.
Here's the thing. I admittedly like one Imagine Dragons song. I was gonna say radioactive song from Imagine Dragons, but it's radioactive. Is the song?
Oh, I hate that song
from Imagine Dragons. Now, granted, the reason why is because I remember when that song first came out. So I felt like, like one of those hipsters who's like, I liked them before they were famous. Like, I'm like, have you even heard Radioactive? And then it was everywhere. And I was like, man, screw Imagine Dragons.
You know who I like more than Imagine
popular.
Dragons? You know who I like more than Imagine Dragons? I like Ex-Ambassadors. Do you guys know who they are?
Yeah, they're also on the Suicide Squad.
Yes, they're also on that song. Yeah,
I like them more than Imagine Dragons. I'll give you that.
When did this turn into a review about Imagine Dragons?
You
know what? No.
You know what though?
Imagine Dragons don't need either of you. They're doing fine just on their own. All right.
You know what though?
I like Imagine Dragons.
You can't have an Arcane review without talking about Imagine Dragons because I don't know how much money Riot Games paid for that song, but dang if they not getting their money's worth because everywhere Riot Games goes, Imagine Dragons is there performing this one song, which is the opening theme. Every episode, opening theme. The one episode is named after the opening theme. So I'm just saying, and that's where the one where you see Imagine Dragons in the crowd. So I'm just saying,
Jerome, what's
Imagine
your social?
Dragons.
What's your social? Give your social.
No, Jonathan didn't give his grade yet. Jonathan, what's your grade?
He just said he wasn't going to grade it.
Yeah, so Jonathan's is to be submitted. It'll be here 6 months from now when he finally watches the rest of Arcane.
It'll be like Malcolm and Marie. Malcolm and Marie, we talked about at the beginning of the year. And we're still talking about it today. We will be talking about Arcane 6, 7, 8 months from now.
I was, you know what though, I was interested to see how this is going to go, because I also suggested we watched Invincible, and both of you guys really loved that, and I was not. I thought you were going to hate it, to be quite honest. So it's
this
interesting
didn't
to see
get as quite as
this is the reverse. Like
right.
I was like, oh man, they'll like Arcane. It's got teen drama. It's got, you know, Jonathan's all about his he loves the drama. Like he's gonna love these characters and all this stuff. Alex loves the
drama
boom
doesn't
booms.
happen.
Alex likes people blowing up stuff and killing people. I feel like
why
this is right up
are you coming for me this episode? What have I done?
You do though.
I'm not saying you're not right. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying, what have I done to you?
Why does it have to be said?
Yeah, why does it have to be said?
I just wanted you guys to enjoy the show.
Give me your social. I'm leaving soon.
Yeah, but it's okay. My social, if you want to find me, is at not Jerome Rett on Instagram, as well as at RoboZoo Media to see other things I'm working on. Also, like I said earlier in the episode, if you want to see more about the First Ones to Die content, extra stuff that we are doing outside of just doing the podcast, check out our YouTube channel at the First Ones to Die. You can find out all about all our stuff there, as far as new gaming content, blog stuff, any updates, all types of things. Go on over there. Jonathan.
You can follow me at Jonathan Keys on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please. If you listen to our Thanksgiving episode, I told you about the Hit Record live stream that we would be doing before Thanksgiving. And obviously it's after Thanksgiving now. And if you follow me on social, you might know that didn't happen. We had a change of plans because Joe was filming a show. So he let us know that we will be pushing that off to a later, we would be rescheduling that for a later day. So stay tuned.
And
Alex.
I am at Alex and Nobody on Instagram. I handle the TikTok account where you'll see little tidbits of the podcast at the First Ones to Die. I also have my own TikTok account, Alex and Cheddar. You saw him walking around back there a minute ago, where I just post again random videos of me and my cat. I'm currently working on the merch store, which should be up the weekend before this airs. So go check that out. Their link will be in our bio in Instagram, Twitter, and all the other social medias. Come support us.
Yes. Tune in next week for something.
We don't know yet.
Yes. Oh, hey, and we have our beautiful stickers.
We also have
shiny, glossy.
Told you we had merch coming. We'll show it off at a later date in its full glory, but until then, you just have to be patient.
Everybody relax. But, all right. Well,
remain calm. Peace. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.